Hi everyone. This video is going to be an overview of the lower body flexibility portion for this week. So the first movement is a curtsy lunge stretch. So from a nice standing position, you're going to take one foot backwards and to the side and then brace onto your toes. And then what we're going to be doing here is you're going to push this hip forwards and reach that top hand over to the side. You want to feel this in that lower back hip region, so make sure you're driving that hip away towards the ground and forwards. So you're just reaching if you need to the right, put a hand on the wall, getting into that really low part of the back on the outside edge. You can even also roll that foot a little bit and then really get into there. But you want to just find that tension, hold into it, breathe, try and think about consciously letting it go, so don't push into too much tension, as with all of the things. And next up is a kneeling forward fold. So you're going to start in a high kneeling position on the backs of the feet, or if you want to try, you can try on your toes. On the toes is very difficult, so I'm going to show on the backs of the feet. Up nice and tall, find the glutes, squeeze so you build up that tension, and then you're going to sit backwards and lean forward. So trying to move your hips to your heels, and once you get that your position where you're like, this won't go down any further, you're going to let your head relax down all the way to the ground. Palms are facing up, and you're just trying to relax. So the goal here is to focus on the low back and the hips. So when you're in this position, you're like, I have gotten to my end point. What you want to try and do is bring your hips further down, allowing yourself to compress even more, really trying to just kind of open this area up, feeling a stretch in the hips, maybe in the ankles, wherever you're feeling tension in this position, and just calmly breathing into it. And when you're done, you just come out of there. Next up is a supine high elevated pigeon. Yeah, I think I called this an elevated pigeon. So you're going to lay down on the ground and you're going to cross one leg over. Right, so in this position, you're going to take one hand and try to reach to the outside edge of your shin. Now, if you can't get this, that's okay. You can bring it up with your leg and then grab on the ankle. In fact, actually, that might be a better way to do that, regardless. Try it out, see how it feels. Anyways, you're going to keep this heel pushed into the ground, and then you're going to pull, primarily pulling through the hands, supporting the ankle, but with both. And you're going to pull up and feel that tension in the outside edge of your hip. Again, once you get that nice comfortable tension, relax, breathe calmly, try and let it go, and then let it down. And switch legs. Next up is a supine spread foot stretch. So this stretch is for the groin. You're going to lay on your back. Now there's a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to demonstrate the easier one first and then the more advanced one. So the first option is to bend the knees to 90 degrees, kind of take your hands and brace, and then you're just going to open up, let your elbows get on the ground, and then just gently let your legs open until you feel a lot of tension building in your groin. All right, it's kind of like butterfly or spread foot glide position. You're just using gravity and your leg weight to open that up. You're using your hands, kind of gently take some of that pressure off the stretch so it's not too intense, right? You can let them go if you feel like you can hold that tension, but you want to just make sure that you're ready in case this gets a little bit too much. So just gently let that open, feeling that build up tension here in the groin, and then when you're done, push together with your hands and then let out of it. You don't want to try and necessarily close the legs, because that's going to just use those muscles that you just stretched. The more advanced version is extending the feet up, right? You have to be able to kind of comfortably sit here, keeping weight on your pelvis, and then just opening with the legs extended. Again, using the hands to brace, finding that point where you're feeling a lot of tension, and then just chilling there and breathing. Make sure you keep weight on the pelvis, and then close it down. Something I didn't mention in this one. So, weight here, so you're getting on the pelvis, so you can open up. In this position, what you can do is you can do a little bit of rotation of the feet in and out. That can help release some of that tension in the groin, so you can get a little bit more distance. You do not have to do that. That's just a way to get into those tissues a little bit more. And the last one is a hamstring doorway stretch. Now, because I don't have a good way to film the doorway portion of the stretch, I'm going to use my door itself. I do not really advise this because the door can move on you. So if you can do this with an actual doorway, that's better, but I don't think that would film properly. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your hip right up, set onto the object that you are stretching. Again, probably don't use a door. And you're going to put your foot up there. Notice the knee bend, both legs, right? From this position, you're going to bring your other leg up and extend that leg until you feel that tension build in the hamstring. And then you're going to take this leg and extend it forwards, and then slowly let it fall down, trying to keep your toes pointed up to the ceiling. And you might be able to get to the ground, you might not. If you can't get to the ground, bend that knee more until you can. Right? So the goal here is to just feel this tension in this leg and try to pull your toes down towards you, because that's going to get it all the way up into the calf and all the way up your leg. With this bottom leg, you can just try and push into the ground actively, because that's going to increase that rotation in the pelvis that you're having to stretch. Once you find a position that you're feeling a lot of tension, just hold and breathe, and then you come out of it and switch legs. Again, a lot easier to do that with a door frame, or if you just somewhere that you can have one leg off. Yeah, that's it for the lower body portion for this week. They're all really good stretches. Should be getting really deep into some tissues. So find that light bit of tension, breathe calmly, try and let everything release.